Ombudsman Commission certify annual returns for Chuave District. Oil Search distributes supplies to drought-stricken communities. And Hekari FC to Classy for FC POM in the NSL.
This is National MTV News with Meriba Tulo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. Member for Chuave and Vice Minister for Mining, Wera Mori, is deeply elated after the Ombudsman Commission certified annual returns for the Chuave electorate for the 2013 and 2014 fiscal years. Mr. Mori said the certifications reflect prudent management practices employed by the Chuave Joint District Planning and Budget Priority Committee, of which he is the chairman.
Mr. Mori said a letter from the Office of the Secretary for Implementation and Rural Development was sent to him expressing this achievement. He said the Chuave District Administration was commended for implementing projects according to the guidelines of the Finance Management Act.
We submit our acquittals to the Office of Rural Development. And then what they do is that they send their own officers to come and conduct independent verification on the ground against what we submitted.
He said inspections and financial audits were carried out to ascertain the existence of school infrastructure projects, the disbursement of funds under the Small Medium Enterprises Program, and roads and bridges in the Chuave electorate.
Where there is population, we must have government services reaching them. And therefore, infrastructure, especially mainly road, is very important to districts like Chuave, because that's the only avenue whereby our people can have access to so many other things.
Mr. Mori, a veteran geologist by profession, said after his 2012 election victory, he found the life of a politician more confronting. He said the cash handout mentality was deeply entrenched in the Highlands political culture, where constituents expected politicians to dish out money. The culture is not only detrimental to tangible growth and development, but politicians face the risk of going to jail if they are forced to misappropriate public funds. The MP said the certification by the Office of Implementation and Rural Development and the Ombudsman Commission are very encouraging, and as such he would continue to discharge his duties within the principles of good management, one based on honesty, accountability and transparency. Lorraine Gabina, National MTV News.
Seeds for crops like cacao and potatoes are becoming highly prized commodities as rains return in some parts of the highlands. Community development workers in Tari, Hela Province told MTV that crop seeds are becoming very expensive as the demand increases with the onset of rain. The high cost of seeds is expected to drive up the cost of food being sold at markets as farmers try to recover the cost of obtaining seeds. In Mount Hagen, farmers are experiencing a similar situation where seeds from one standard-sized plot of cacao are being sold for between 100 kina and 150 kina. Food prices in Port Moresby are also expected to rise because of this trend. The Oil Search oil pipeline communities in the Gulf Province have been hit hard in recent times, first by prolonged floods caused by heavy rainfall at the end of last year, and now the drought. But as a timely Christmas gift, the communities along the pipeline received essential drought relief supplies from Oil Search. Deliveries to these communities happened on Thursday at Kopi Village, located about 5 minutes from the company's shore base on the banks of the Hekari River.
Like other southern parts of the country, Gulf Province has not had any rain since April. The staple diet of the Gulf area is sago, and the drought has taken a severe toll on them, forcing locals to travel long distances to make sago for their families.
Mi plan san kuki molgeta kake blo mi plan kagwa leaf blo mi plan sak blo mi plan na mi plan nogat kake.
Oil Search Corporate Community Affairs Manager Paul Sapake and his team delivered the essential relief assistance comprising 20-kilogram rice bags, cartons of tin fish and noodles to these communities along the Hekari River.
Management decided to give him blood, all of him, rations, Also, it's true, you got plan long supply, more crops, all seedlings, all water programs where people need long, providing long communities.
The pipeline communities have been hard hit in recent times, first by prolonged floods caused by heavy rainfall towards the end of last year, and now the El Nino-induced drought. The locals thanked Oil Search for the relief supplies, especially during this festive season. The pipeline community in the Hekari district covers 5 tribes, 42 villages, and an estimated population of over 4,500 people. The Copy Base provides support for the Kumul Marine Terminal Oil Search and PNG's only oil export terminal located in the Gulf of Papua. Oil Search has also distributed drought relief assistance to communities it operates in the 3 provinces of Hela, Southern Highlands and Gulf. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
The Children's Ward at the Port Moresby General Hospital received donations from the Central Provincial Transport Authority this week. Staff from the company presented gift hampers containing toiletries, beddings and other goodies. The Children's Ward has 4 divisions and a total of 136 beds. Each patient received a gift hamper. CPTA Managing Director Hekari Dogodo said these gifts are timely as it is the festive season, a time for giving. This is one of the donation programs this year under the initiative of the company. CPTA also donated to the Port Moresby Cheshire Home in April and to the maternity ward also at Port Moresby General Hospital in September.
Yeah, basically, that's charitable and also the people in need. There's someone in the hospital or at the Cheshire Home or at the mother's ward who is in need, and the little we give will speak a lot for itself.
National Capital District Governor Poes Pakop is not budging with his plans to develop the Tarama Road and bypass. He says the roadwork will go ahead as planned and nothing will stop it. He has called on residents living along the road corridor and landowners to cooperate to ensure the work begins on the road.
NCD Governor Poes Pakop says the Tarama Road project has gone through very stringent process. The amount of the project was based on engineering calculations and the awarding of the contract to Global Construction is based on merits.
4 roads totaling about 400 million. We went through a very stringent process. If the opposition leader could only know, I went through hell to get this road being rolled out now.
The 7-kilometer 4-lane road and bypass will link up the areas on the outskirts of the city to the CBD. NCD sees it as a positive development that will benefit everyone. Construction will start in January next year.
So we are going to build that road too, whether Don Polia likes it or not. He will just benefit eventually. So he should just look at the benefits that will come to him and his business or whatever he is doing in his life.
In order to achieve the 40-meter corridor, all physical structures built on the road corridor will be demolished. Moresby South MP Justin Chachenko says appropriate engineers will negotiate the situation and if there's need to compensate, they will consider.
It's without fear or favour as well. There's no one being favoured in this situation. No matter who you are, if you're on the road reserve and the road's going through your property, that's unfortunate, but whatever structures are in that corridor have to go.
Pakop urged critics of the project to look at the bigger picture and not to play down the project. Mickey Cavera, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more stories for you after the break. Welcome back to the news. Northern Governor Gary Jufa has applauded the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill's effort to fight illegal logging. His comments come after the Prime Minister issued stop work orders to 2 logging companies in the Northern Province. But he wants the Prime Minister to review the operations of the National Forest Authority as NFA has not acted on numerous reports of illegal logging. Jufa also finds it strange that the Forest Minister has proclaimed on the world stage that there is no illegal logging in PNG. But the report by the Prime Minister has proven that to be wrong. The Badili Police Station in Port Moresby has been refurbished with the assistance of the PNG Australian Policing Partnership Program. The refurbishment comes at a time the police force is facing serious challenges with its building infrastructure. The building was officially launched this week.
Once the approval is given, the station will house the Traffic, Criminal Investigation Unit and Prosecution Divisions. It will be run like a provincial police command, where all units operate from the same police station. In an off-camera interview with NCD Divisional Commander Sylvester Calout, the Assistant Commissioner said the idea to include the 3 police units at Badili is to spread police services across the city. Currently, all investigations and prosecutions are conducted at the Boroko police station, and that often becomes too crowded. Badili has over 60 police offices. Its area of operations includes Badili to Kaugere, Sabama, and the 2-mile residential area. The refurbished Badili police station is predicted to boost the morale of police officers and give them something to be proud of.
I look forward to working with our Assistant Commissioner Calout and our PPC and our Metropolitan Superintendent to fill our new barracks with young, vibrant police officers.
Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Over 40 cases of sexual violence are reported to the Family and Sexual Violence Unit at Lays Police Station on a daily basis. Officer in charge of the Sexual Offences Squad, Ruth Murup, says the unit workers, alongside Morabe's Family and Sexual Violence Action Committee, to support victims. Both organizations work in partnership to educate communities on how to legally deal with sexual offenders.
This year, Lays Family and Sexual Violence Unit recorded an average 43 assault cases per day since the month of January. The unit has been dealing with offences of assault, insult, and behaviours like use of abusive words, obscene text messages, and child abuse acts. OIC Sergeant Ruth Murup has revealed that FSV unit receives complaints from both female and male complainants. In a couple of joint meetings held this year with Morabe's Family and Sexual Violence Action Committee, Lays FSV unit has contributed ideas in policies that will be protecting the welfare of sexual offence victims.
This is to educate the general public that it is not right to inflict an abuse on other people.
Following the referral guideline that was launched recently by the National Family and Sexual Violence Action Committee to support the welfare of survivors of family and sexual violence, Lays FSVU has been referring victims to safe houses. Now that guideline came to be after many cases where victims of sexual violence were not fully assisted due to no proper communication from their service providers. Between January and September 2015, Lays FSVU recorded that assault offences had the highest number of cases, and complainants who lodged the complaints were mostly women and girls.
Applications for women or men that come in with complaints of violence, they need protection, we do that one, and we refer them to the courthouse.
Legal support is being provided to family and sexual violence victims by referring their cases to the courts. Colin Barilai, National EMTV News, Leh.
Landowners of the Aruba Airport in Kieta, Autonomous Region of Bougainville, have pledged to ensure flight services are not disrupted. Landowners made the pledge following the incident which disrupted operations at the airport early this week. They want the service to continue as today marks the first anniversary since the reopening of Aruba.
Today marks the first anniversary of Aruba Airport since the opening on December 12 last year. The airport was reopened after 25 years of closure since 1989 following the civil war on the island. Aruba Airport was described by National Airports Corporation Acting Managing Director Joseph Tupiri as the long-lost airport that completed a list of 22 national facilities in Papua New Guinea.
That was our missing airport, and we were happy that the government was now fully supporting it and wanted it to be opened.
Civil Aviation Minister David Stephen reflected on Aruba's story in Hoskins yesterday, that has driven the national government's focus investing in the aviation sector.
Aruba Airport was opened this year by this government. Where people were left disconnected and to an extent hopeless, our people are happy.
National flag carrier Air Niugini operates 6 weekly flights to Aruba and is proud of the service to Kieta. Meanwhile, landowners promise not to allow any more disruptions to flight service and will work together with the national government to ensure service continues. Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
South Pacific Pharmaceutical Distributors Limited, a small nationally owned company, is reaching new heights in its business. The company hosted its first Christmas Gala last night at the Crown Plaza Hotel after 8 years of operations. The gala also marked the launching of their new company website. Lorraine Gabina with this report.
One of Papua New Guinea's 100% nationally owned company, South Pacific Pharmaceutical Distributors, continues to grow after 8 years in business. Managing Director Mr. Philip Tukuyawini was a proud man at the gala as he announced his company's milestone website launching.
Attitude of relying on foreigners must be stopped, and we must think positive and move forward. It is about time we must trust our own Papua New Guineans, not only in pharmaceutical industry, but in all other departments and other areas that we Papua New Guineans can do.
As a small company, SPPDL is made up of mostly male employees, with just 2 females, one of which received the Employee of the Year award. The website launch was timely as it coincided with SPPDL's Christmas Gala, giving more reason to celebrate. SPPDL, in its growth over the years, has supplied pharmaceutical products to various entities and events, including the 15th Pacific Games hosted in the nation's capital in July this year. Lorraine Gabina, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. Chuave Sports is up next. We'll be back with the details.
Chuave Sports.
Welcome to Chuave Sports. We begin with the NSL, and Hekari United proved too classy for FC Port Moresby in the Telikom National Soccer League. Hekari won with a 2-0 victory, both goals scored in the second half. Jeremy Mogi reports.
The match between Hekari United and FC Port Moresby. Beautiful, free-flowing football exhibited. Neil Hans with a chance as Hekari failed to dominate in the midfield. Jamal Sito and Nathan Steven both combining well with Basil Jafari for FC POM. FC Port Moresby with slick passing. Emmanuel Simon denied, though it was Daniel Joe who would score for Hekari on 68 minutes. British midfielder Aaron Saxton was brought on as a replacement for Basil Jafari in a surprise substitution for FC Port Moresby. The final score, Hekari 2, FC Port Moresby 0. The match, it would be Irema FC taking on Gala Tepo. Striker Felix Bondo looked up front for Gigera as they looked at regrouping from last week's draw against PS. But it was Irema who would prove the more dangerous, as keeper Richard Lapan was placed under immense pressure early. And Tawini would open after 24 minutes and then double the lead only 8 minutes later. Ian Yanum would score with minutes remaining in the first half as Gigera made a fight back. Tawini would miss his hat-trick, but the match disappointingly degenerated into a tit-for-tat battle with multiple infringements being committed by both teams in a poor display of sportsmanship at one time. When Michael Gitta scored in the 91st minute, that would undoubtedly put Irema on track for a 3-1 victory, and that result now sees Irema join Hekari at the top of the Southern Conference table, pending tomorrow's matchup between PKA Rapatona and PS Huawa United. Jeremy Mogi, National EMTV Sports.
Over to Ley now, and Ley City Dwellers have beaten Besta FC this afternoon 3-0. The Dwellers' Nigel Dabinyaba and Raymond Gunemba scored 2 goals for the team to win comfortably. Moving on, and Ley-based corporate touch footy association affiliate Houseman today dominated Agility Dragons in the 3-day New Guinea Super 4 Touch Football Championships at the Nial Oval. The 2 Ley-based teams put on an entertaining match for their fans, but Houseman led their rivals from the start to the end with a 9-2 win over the Dragons. Martha Lewis reports from Ley.
In the first 10 minutes, Agility Dragons were dominating rival Houseman. Dragons number 13 scored the first try at the far right-hand corner through an outside pass to put the first point on the scoreboard. But the Dragons were not able to keep the momentum going, which gave way to Houseman to make a comeback. Houseman's Billy Momi scored the first try at the left-hand side corner for his team to level the score to a 1-1 draw. But that was not all. The Houseman went on to score 3 more tries before heading into half-time, leading 4-1. In the first minutes of the second half, Houseman kept the crowd entertained as they scored their 5th try through the number 7. Rival Dragons Agility scored back to bring the score to 5-2. This was not enough as the determined Houseman team went on to score 4 more tries to win the game. This is the second day of the New Guinea Super 4 Touch Championship. Exciting round of competition so far. Tomorrow we have the finals. Mata Louis, National EMTV Sports, Ley.
And that's where we in Trukai Sports will have for you the weather details up next. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather for the next 24 hours. First of all, in the southern region, Port Moresby cloudy, mostly fine in Daru and Kerma, and fine as well in Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momasa region, brief showers expected in Ley, Wau, Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, brief showers expected in Lorengau and Kavieng, and brief showers as well in Kokopo and Rabaul, a few showers in Kimbe and mostly fine in Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mende and Wabeg, you can expect some showers with morning fog. And that has been the news, sports and weather this Saturday, the 12th of December 2015. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.